you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling refreshed, feeling better.
Good.
Man, you gotta hear.
I've had my stories. I got my stories for you.
No, I want to hear this because he came in today. He told me, boy, I gotta. Would you like a travel story?
Oh yeah,
I said, yeah.
It's the best.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
You know, I went to Buffalo, New York, and
Got there on the day of the shooting.
Yes. No, I mean, yeah, it was the day I got there too.
Yeah.
And everything. I was like, ah, shit, here we go.
That's convenient.
But I saw your guys' video on. I thought that you both had great points. So thank you for
thank you.
talking
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I will say, you know, it's so funny. When I got my tickets, I thought, oh, I'm ahead of the game because I'm like, I'm going to get a super early flight, 5 a.m. It's like, yeah, I'll just stay up all night. Won't matter. I'll get there. And no lines or anything. Longest lines I've ever seen outside of Boston Airport. They were outside. TSA lines, all the check, outside the airport. I've never seen it that way. I get there and about to board, like right about to board. I was in the C group. Overbooked.
Oh,
They overbooked the flight. And so
Yeah.
I couldn't even get on. But thankfully, I was like, okay, let me just go up to the person. Let me just explain what happened. I'm not going to be aggressive about it. Not going to have a shitty attitude. And they got me on the next flight like an hour later.
Nice.
And I actually got there earlier than I would have anyway.
Okay, all
Great.
right. Well, that all worked out.
It all worked out. Now, the journey back, ooh, that's where the fun begins.
Yeah. As it always does.
Yeah. So I had a connection and went from Buffalo to Baltimore. Baltimore flight was supposed to leave like around like 5 or something. Delayed several hours. No idea why. Didn't say it was weather. I was like, okay, that's weird. Got on the plane, one of the last people on the plane because of where I was, my position. Sat down. Pilot goes on about, so it's my fault about the 3+ hour delay. I thought my last flight was in Costa Rica. I've never been to Costa Rica before. And I was going to sit down to a Costa Rican. He just went on about Costa Rica. He was just really jazzed about Costa Rica. He wanted the whole
Bitch,
thing.
what's up, my trip?
I know.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, he's in the mic, and I'm like, maybe he's had a few. I was like, oh shit, is this the Denzel
right.
Washington of pilots? I was like, please, for the love of God, no. I want to get home safe.
I'm high right now. He said on the mic.
There was at one point I thought he was going to say that, but he's just like, I thought I was able to do this, but I had another flight. That's my fault. Rushed back to the airport, and I was like, okay, whatever, just get me home. The thing was, I sat next to this kid who wouldn't shut up. And like, okay, he was 2 years old, but he kept hollering, kept screaming, kept crying, kept just speaking mumbo jumbo and singing. And the dad and the guy, and I don't mean to body shame, but just morbidly obese dad.
Yeah.
You know, fat folds, literally over the seat. Over my seat.
The kind of body that says, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was very much that body. He didn't give a fuck about me.
It sounds like that he should have bought 2 tickets.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah, it's like there was no room, so I was like leaning like this most of
Somebody
the flight.
chat said it. You hate kids.
Well, you know what? I was good. I didn't say nothing. I could have said something, but I did. I'm like, I just want to get home at this point. I don't care. I'm just on the plane. That's fine. Someone else did. Because people were complaining about the kid. Stewardess, or I guess flight attendant, came over and said, "Can you please keep your son quiet?" And he's like, "I'm doing the best I can." And it's like, what else do you want me to
Make
do?
him sound like Mr. Bumpo.
He has that fat guy voice. I'm sorry, everything sounds like blah the whole time. He's out of breath.
And I ain't gonna lie, because that's exactly what I heard when you said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Except more out of breath.
Yeah, it's very much so. He's
Doing the
trying.
best I can.
And at one point, like I think the stewardess did that twice. She was like, "I don't know what you want me to do." One person got up and said, "Shut that kid up."
Oh,
Someone got up.
before I shut him up for you.
He got out of his seat and came over. I'm in the aisle seat. So the position, I'm in the aisle. The morbidly obese dad's right in the middle, and the little kid is in the window seat. And they start going at it. Thankfully, they didn't. But I was like, guys, can we just? I was like, guys, I'm right here. And they're like, all right. And the stewards came over.
So the guy who came over is yelling over you at the dad.
over me, and the dad finally he's yelling back and everything. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, I should have been filming this, but I didn't. I didn't want to.
You should have been filming this, man.
I want to get.
This is your job.
I'm in the direction. I'm in the direction of the fists. I'm in between them.
You don't listen. Let me pause right. I'm gonna let you finish the story. But if you, goddamn it, if you're gonna do TikTok now, you better do this shit right.
I know. I was tired.
Time is counting, my friend.
I know. I was tired. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
deal
man.
with
I
it.
was at the bar a couple of weeks ago, and two groups of middle-aged dudes were about to get into a fight. I got my phone out. I was ringside. I was ready for this.
Hell yeah.
And then my friend got up and broke up the fight. I was like, man, why you do that?
You should start fighting your friend. You should have filmed him punching him.
We're gonna make this work. Goddammit.
No more.
But eventually the two stewardesses or 2 flight attendants came and they separated them. But then about
Jesus.
20 minutes till like we're gonna land, And the kid went,
oh, hell.
and the dad's like, what's wrong? And he just went, boom, boom. And I'm like, I know what boom, boom means. Poop. And the kid's like, boom, boom. And the dad's like, no. And he's like, can you get up? And he just told me get up. I'm like, all right, I know what's happening. So
You better get up. You don't
I
get
get up.
by that.
Kid had diarrhea.
Oh.
Everywhere. Got on his seat, the dad's seat, my seat. He and the thing is, the guy was so fat that he couldn't like walk down the aisle like, normally, so you had to shimmy by the side. And so there was this poor older woman. And who got covered in it because it was coming out the kid's leg. It just came all the way down. Oh, and it covered her. It covered her like her arms went and so all the flight attendants had to. But at that point, like I couldn't sit down because it was covered in feces, and so I had to sit in the aisle until the plane landed. I'm not going to name the company, but I had to literally sit in the aisle when the plane finally landed, which is not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, no, they don't let you do that. But all the signs say, get back to your seat with your seatbelt on.
At this point, I'm like, listen, my seat's covered in shit. Yeah,
you're not supposed to sit in shit either.
Yeah, exactly. And I was the first one off the flight because of what I went through. They allowed me. Everyone got up and some people were clapping, and I was like, that's okay. I just want to go.
You just want to get the fuck out.
I want to leave.
So did the whole plane smell like shit?
Oh, yeah, because we stood in line because it's 20 minutes till we land, and then you're still like on the tarmac and everything, so you're there for like another 10 or so minutes. So, yeah, half hour just human feces, just smell it. It's just going through the plane because all that recycled air. And people were gagging. It was. I couldn't believe it.
It makes me mad when I hear that shit. Yeah. Because here's the thing. Like I said, don't you dare ever go around and point at somebody's condition and think you're better than them. But on the other, I don't give a fuck if you fat and skinny. If you lazy motherfucker, that's just how it is. Yeah. And people like that make me mad. Mm-hmm. And that's why I told you. I said there's some big people out there. I gotta be careful how I say this, but there's some big people out there who just don't want to do shit. And that's why they're there where they are.
And they say it's a medical condition.
Yeah, and for some people it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's entirely possible that the wife died unexpectedly and he's been in a depression, which has led to his weight gain and his being lethargic and not taking care of business.
Don't give a fuck.
He has a wife. He kept talking about mommy and shits like that. So I can imagine how big she was.
All right, man, I tried. Shit.
She's alive.
That's what I say. When I hear you try to be nice, I almost have an automatic reaction. I don't give a fuck. All right? Shit, you get on everybody's nerves on this plane, smelling like shit, spreading shit all over the place.
Some people got home and she was like, so how did it go? Oh, he did it again.